Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome. Sissy, Joanne Stevens. I saw you here bright and early. Kay Renee, Mike. Let me go up to the top and see if there's anybody I missed. Or how about this? 120 watts. Okay, so what is going on? Excuse me, you guys. Built-in cables. I forgot. One USB-C, one Lightning. They pop out when you need them and snap right back in when you're. I forgot to put on my do not disturb sign and my notifications. Ha! Busy. How are you guys? How are you guys doing today? Maria Graham. This goes to the point of what today we're going to talk about, and that's tough times never last. Tough people do. Let me do this. I don't really know how to braid, but I'm tired of this. So I was rushing in, and I didn't have a chance to pin this down. I'm getting tired of my hair falling in my face, especially now that it's hot. It's hot out, and nobody wants to be bothered with that nonsense. So there we are. Happy Mac. Life with Tasharia. Thank you for coming and welcome. I want to thank those of you in the bushes, those of you who are here for the replay, Frugal Mama, and those of you who may come later when we're gone. Juanita Campbell. So good afternoon. I have been busy, happily retired, upstairs in mi apartamento, enjoying life, doing art, enjoying my family in person and on live chats. And I was asked to help organize a tenants union in my building. So yesterday we ended up going all the way to New York, where the owner has his primary office. He has buildings nationwide, and they're mixed use buildings. What I want to say is that some people may pay $1. Some pay full price. Some in the middle. But we are all trying to make sure that everybody has the benefits that they need. Why? Because it's a senior building. I myself have a senior handicap apartment, and the and things that should be here are not. So who did they vote? I won't say president. Head spokesperson, co-chair of this building was me, and we had a couple things come up. I do have a background in business and a background in law. So everybody's been calling me to tell me that my my face was in the newspapers today, that I was on the news on several channels, and that's nice. I didn't look at that. I didn't go look at it. Why? Because I've been that's what I did before I retired. And I just want to have a good time, enjoy life, help others when I can. But one lady said something yesterday. She's on the board of directors for the building. And she said, Ellen, I hear a whistle. I don't know why. She said, Ellen, some of us are tired. We've been, going down, fighting for this, that in the building. And some people just come in, happy Mac, hello if I didn't say it, and Some people, no, you don't bother anybody. You just say hello and go in your apartment. So I guess it's my turn for some time. And I actually am good at public speaking when I want to. And there's a way to treat people when you're out in public. Some of us, how many of you are retired or stepping back? Nancy, our treasured home. Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello to my buddy Anastasia. And you know, when you're in a place with at least 79 different apartments or people, plus people who work here, you're not going to agree about everything all the time. But there's a way to treat people, there's a way to talk to people. Sometimes you just have to walk away and not say anything. Something happened a couple of weeks ago, and my friend I always talk about upstairs, they call us the odd couple. We're not a couple, we're just friends with different religions, different different political affiliations, just totally different. And something happened, and she said to me, Ellen, you didn't say anything. You know, you don't blurt out every time something is on your mind. There's a time and a place for everything. And I said, just wait, just wait, just wait. How many of you, how many of you are still working? Put a 2 in the chat. Whether it's part time, whether you're doing YouTube full time or like full blast. When I say full blast, like putting out a short every day on some social media. I just, sometimes I do. I try to put something out somewhere, but I'm not every day. I'm not going hard. I have people who contact me and said, "Oh, you want your channel to grow to 5 million?" Not really, because then I have to do something every day. To whom much is given, much is required. Mike is still working. I don't want to work full time. I want to do just what you see me about to do. And today is one of those days that I'm going to. Oh, I forgot to thank those of you who are channel members. For those who are here the first time, it doesn't cost anything to be a subscriber. I do have members and I try to give back or do something. YouTube is considered a job too. I know that's why you guys don't see me sometime. I haven't been really active this week because I was doing, other stuff here and helping out a little bit more than I anticipated or wanted to. But sometimes when you start something, requires more energy than later on. If you're starting to cook a meal, you have to get all your stuff out. Then later on you put it together, or or how some people just take out one thing at a time. One, go get the salt out of the cabinet, then the pepper, then put it back, then the garlic, then the onion powder. Oh, how many of you cook like that? Like a 9? It depends. If I'm cooking for YouTube, I try to be a bit more organized. If I'm just scrambling an egg, guess what? I might take 2 or 3 things down and put it back. But I'm not, don't want to do all that. I just want to live and let live and do what you love what you do. That's what I always say. And to that point, I have a lot of food in my pantry, in my freezer. Mother, mommy, oh yeah, thank you for doing the thumbs up, you guys. My parents always filled the freezers up, like with fish when it was fishing season. You don't fish in Connecticut in the winter. Why? Because we're on Long Island Sound. It's not deep water. and the ice is frozen along the shoreline. So one of a new friend that happens to be one of the persons with the union, I guess has a boat or something, went fishing. Sissy, and he got all these porgies. Well, I was saying that that's mommy's favorite fish. My mother loves fresh fish. And another lady was saying that she was going to help this guy clean the fish. And I said, I would love to be able to buy one or two fish to cook for my mother. And she said, well, we're going to put it in the bags and take the air out of it. And I'll give you one or two. And I was busy yesterday getting ready to go to my meeting, and a knock came on the door. She said, Miss Ellen, I have the fish for you. I thought they were going to give me like one or two fish, and they gave it to me. They wouldn't let me pay for it. One or two fish in the little bag. But then my helper was saying, Mrs. Ellen, where are we going to put this? There's no room. There's no room in the freezer. I'm like, what do you mean there's no room in the little refrigerator in the kitchen? It's not that little. I just have a lot of stuff in it. And there were two bags with fish in them. I'm not sure if they're clean or not, but they will be clean this weekend, and I will be taking them, frying them, and taking them to my mother. She doesn't care about Maria Graham says, hello, Mom, Mother dearest. So I will call her and do a family chat. Family chat. So what am I going to do? Good friends become family, and family is everything. I am going to sit right here, and y'all are my family now, and chat and crochet. I need to get something else out because when I was in Arizona, I started making Roscoe, Joanne Stevens, her husband, a hat, and I worked on that thing like an hour or two, so many days. It doesn't look like it's going to be big enough. So I am going to pull it all out and maybe crochet a beanie. So I like this size hook. What is it? And one of my YouTube family members gave me this. These are not my big Dollar Tree glasses or I can see the whole room. Let me see. It is a size 8 or no, size H or a 5.0 millimeter. Francesca, Ego Amote, I love you. In the garden, gathering up more veggies. Oh, I'm glad you said that. For those of you who are new, or I usually follow a little format. GQUAT stands for Garden, Quilt, and Art Show. And let me see, am I going to touch too many things, Michael? Actually, I'm going to leave them alone. I don't know why it's not coming up like with the GQUAT, but I don't want it to knock me off. So I will just leave it alone. I will just leave it alone. But gardening, we are 6 living generations right now. I have been alive for 8 generations because we have the 6 generations that are living now, plus the seventh would be my 4 grandparents. I was raised knowing all of them. One lived in Pennsylvania, and we would go in there and visit all of mommy's family. Every year when daddy got vacation from his night job, we would spend a week in Pennsylvania and then drive with my maternal grandma and all of us kids as we came along. No seatbelts back then. Those big back seats, the big front seats in the car were like 3 adults could fit in the front. No bucket seats or anything. 4 or 5 kids in the back. Then we had one sister, my baby sister, who would always want to lay across our laps, and we'd be pushing, get off me, arguing. And Daddy would say, let her park her truck, meaning her boom boom, across there. And so we had to, we that's what we did for our baby sister. And we just accommodated each other. Going back to the union, Mike says, "Oh, type exclamation mark GQUAT to drop your link and connect with each other who are not familiar with each other." LGG, your card is in the plastic. It's all made out. I wrote you a little note. I know that you're going to give it to your daughter, so I tried to make it special. And pescatarian, hers is as well. But my regular helper is on vacation out of the country, and I haven't shown my temporary helper where my post office is and the box. It requires going up a lot of steps, and I just didn't feel like it. You're 90 degrees. Wow, Francesca. Denzel Cooper. Hello, hello. I don't know where I knocked my bell, you guys, because because I've been moving locations. Today I'm going to stay in this chair. I do want to show you that maybe I don't have so many colors on that you can see this. So this grandma's hands quilt is finished except for the embroidery. So it'll be like about 35, 36 inches long by about 30 inches wide. I haven't done a final measurement. My sister Joanne asked me. So I will be working on something else. But the L Joanna's saying LGG love. So Francesca was talking about being in the gardening. All all eight of the generations have done some gardening or real farming. And oh yes, somebody asked me about this. I have on just a regular cotton t-shirt because when I put my arm up, I see some of you have shorts out or something, moo-moos in the garden. I'm not wearing a moo-moo in the garden. No snake, no wasp is going to go under my dress. Oh yes, Frugal Mama did change her name. Thank you. So when I put my arms up, plus my arms aren't looking the way they should be looking right now. I put a little t-shirt on. So in case I stand up or reach for something, you're not looking all the way under these big old sleeves. Yes, and I have some pants on as well. I got a chance to exercise with Frugal Mama this morning. She didn't know it. I was in the bushes doing my little hand weights. My shoulders are bad though, and it's kind of hard for me to do the weights. So I started using lighter weights and more reps. Now let's go to you're working taking the hems out of Anastasia's old clothes, using the front of the shirts as the front of a quilt and the back of the shirts for the backing. Okay, well, everybody has their own way. Hey, sis, my Renaissance grandma, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, everybody listens. I am in the bushes, you guys. I feel bad because I can never get, it takes me more time to get back to where I saw you and give, because I've already given the thumbs up so it's lit, and read down all the comments to see if I left a message. K Renee's Garden, I watched you out there. doing whatever you put the initials on, and you were talking about each thing in your garden. I gave the thumbs up, a classy lady. Oh, thank you. I tried I tried to be what my parents intended. You know, it's a at that time. But Francesca made reminded me last week. Remember, I had a big plate of holy basil, and it was like falling off, falling out. And I had another big plate of rosemary. Well, I tried it at just in the room. I want you to see this is all that's in there. That big thing of holy basil. And it is so fragrant. I can smell it. I can smell it all the way through the opening in here. I ground it up. Then I went in my room to take a little nap before I went live. And I'm like, what does that smell? I didn't use any essential oil or oil freshener. Hey Kelly, I bring it every day. Happy Mac. I was watching you. I watch you when you come on early in the morning, Kelly, and do the thumbs up. Sometimes I can get in and get a little hi or something, but not every day. But just know that I'm loyal. I watch everything that pops up. What did I see Mike doing? All of you, all of you. It's like, oh, I like, who is it that had so many kids? She did. Oh, Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. No, when she got there, the cover was bare. Something, but whoever had the old woman in the shoe had so many children, she didn't know what to do. Oh, garden tour tomorrow. Oh, Happy Mac is asking around about Francesca. I have not done a full garden tour, you guys, because I was so late planting. I didn't plant until the end of June, up until the middle of July. But my holy basil, I started inside from seed, and it was part of the planter garden grow off, and it smells so good. There is a blend of herbs called Herbs de Provence, and I think there are 7 herbs in France. It just gives food a different little flavor. For example, por ejemplo, if you accidentally put cinnamon in your spaghetti sauce instead of black pepper. But guess what? You can put a pinch of cinnamon in it and it tastes good. Some people put a pinch of anchovy in the olive oil when they're seasoning. Use what you have. You wish it would be good if you were not going to the family reunion. Oh, Francesca's replying to, will you be doing a full garden tour? You guys, Francesca doesn't have a garden. She has a farm. It would probably be considered a small farm, but it's a super big garden. And she cans. You can't grow herbs for anything. That's because you have sunshine, Francesca. All these herbs, I don't have sunshine. I can't grow the things that you have. Happy Max says, Francesca, I hope you have a wonderful time. I used to love going to the family reunions because that would be the only time you saw your family other than an occasional wedding or funeral. But and it would be a happy time. Disney, Prince Michael, and all of his magical animal friends. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. So I can smell this, and my nose is snuffy. I can never smell. I can smell this. I will put this in one of the small canning jars. I don't even need half pint, just those little tiny ones, like you put your peppers in. So, you love the commercial kitchen? Wow. Francesca says it's 20 acres of farmland. Wow. 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 That's amazing. I remember when my paternal grandparents lived in North Carolina, and they used to grow tobacco or cotton. I didn't know that 20 acres is what you own. You raise all of your own meats and veggies and some fruits. That is so cool. That is so cool. I had a little 4 acre homestead in North Carolina before I came back to Connecticut. And I have ducks, goats, the small goats. I was supposed to be making cheese and dairy products and soap and whatnot, but I never learned how to milk a goat. Mike is jealous, Francesca. That is so cool. That's what this is about. Tough times never last. Tough people do. My grandparents in North Carolina were sharecroppers, so they didn't have a lot of cash. They didn't have outside jobs unless it was like an occasional job, like Francesca's husband does roofing and other stuff, or you help somebody else on their property. When they had money is when their crops came in. And then they had to save part of it for seeds for the next year, or they would have to buy it on consignment and pay it back. You got something feet. You like to live off the land as much as you're able. I love that. I love that. I get I I scrounge. I what do you call it when you go out in the in forage? But my forages consist of farmers market, my friends who have farms, and my sister Joanna saying, "That's fantastic, Francesca." My grandmother, you see this bookcase? This bookcase holds regular books, but my grandmother had a like floor to 8, 9, 10 foot a case, and because they had a big family, they all of her canning was in half-gallon jars, in some quarts. All the peaches, they didn't use when they made like peach preserves. They didn't put the pectin in. They boiled it down until it turned brown, and it made its own pectin. My mother probably, mommy probably still has jelly or some canned stuff down in the down in the cellar. And the scary part, there's a room around the back, past where daddy's tools and copper and other stuff used to be, and where I used to sneak and make wine and hide it back there. But that was mommy's canning room, and it was cool and dark down there because the basement was made of stone. It's made of stone. On my ride to New York yesterday, I was backseat driving. I'm good in the backseat. No bueno in the front seat. I will get on your last nerves. I will get on your last nerves. Right, sissy? Put a capital yes in the chat if I am a bug in the rug, backseat driver, jumpy, in the front seat. So we were in a pretty large van. It was a Volkswagen, the big one, the 3-seater. I was in the second. Francesca won't milk a cow, but will take care of the farmer husband if that's whatever he ends up doing besides the carpentry. We don't have enough land for a dairy operation there. Um, one of my one of my mother-in-laws, I've been married 3 times, you guys, but she bought property upstate in Connecticut, and it had been a dairy farm, and it was on 60 acres and had automated milking thing where the cows feed can go in and feed, and you know what comes out the other end. And there would be something, I don't really remember it because it was so long ago, and uh, scoop out the poop and to wash it down. I used to give my dogs goat's milk. I used to breed Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs, and excuse me, those herbs are cleaning out my sinuses. And when they were babies, just to get them used to being handled, because we're talking about 160-pound guard dogs. And I used to bottle feed them. And like you'd say, well, some dogs are dangerous. We see some of our co YouTubers or content creators, and they'll say, "Oh, the chicken got the dog got the chicken," or the another animal. Your goats, no goats. You get your husband. Those boy goats, though. Oh, I did have a male goat that was unrelated to the female goats, and he was small, but a little funky donkey. OMG. I don't know whether his glands came up. Maria Graham is saying that she grew up on 200 acres of land with all farm animals. Yeah, my grandparents used to have pigs. I've had pigs, a litter of them that I bought. They were already born, not like Led Farmer having babies. He's coming in. And I remember one time I put a litter of baby pigs in one of the horse stalls. Well, my horse stalls were 14 feet by 14 feet because some of our, excuse me, sorry, allergies, you guys. Some of our horses were thoroughbreds, which are very tall. Lady was an Arabian, tall meaning 17 and a half hands, down to like 15 and a half hands. That's how you measure them. And we put the pigs in there. They rooted up the floor because you don't put concrete in horse stalls. It's a stamped down soil floor. And then we would go to the sawmill, and we would either get like pickup trucks full of sawdust, big sawdust, or we would get a dump truck to come dump a whole load. Oh, that's your awesome sister Maria. Oh. And so then my one of the persons that used to help me on my little mini farm, we owned 4 acres, but we rented 21 more acres and put wells over there. We had a deep well on the family property that was down like 300 feet, a deep water well from the spring. You can only dream of owning that much land. Oh, I don't want it. I don't want to own a condo. I am happy in this apartment. I call downstairs and it's someone else's problem. It's someone else's problem. And there are people that don't speak the language that are having difficulty communicating. I have access to a Russian translator. Most people in the Ukraine, there are a lot of Ukrainian people who also speak, but they also speak Russian. And there are several families who speak Spanish. Sí, pero yo puedo hablo con ellos by myself. Or we speak Spanglish, a part English, a part Spanish. And we get it done. And the dogs and the goat's milk, I would come home and these 170-pound dogs would be lying on the front porch next to one of the goats, or we would be inside watching TV in the evening, and the goats would be, before we put them up, the goats would be on the back porch looking in the windows at the TV. A couple of the goats were 4-H show goats. Lilac, our lead goat, had been a show goat. And you'd open the gate and come in, because you got to have gates when you have a lot of property. And we'd come in the gate, and Lilac would jump in the truck. My friends came to visit to do some quilting, and they left their car doors open. Oh my goodness! The goats would jump in their car, jump in their car. You binge baby videos a lot. They are so cute, Mike. And the baby goats as soon as they're born. Like you go out in the morning, they're not there. And one of our goats would have sometimes two at a time. You go out later on, and my garden was like, I want to say there, half an acre, a quarter acre, and it was fenced, but I had two chicken coops in there, and the goats would have their little play area. There were only two or three of them. And my mother would say, "Oh, I love coming here. And you know how I can tell wherever you are on the you can't palate cow milk? Oh, but you can drink now goat milk. Oh, okay. Goat milk is very tender very easy on your stomach and it's expensive, but I used to feed it to my puppies. And but the only thing is I was a wimp, Francesca and Maria. I was a wimp about unaliving them to eat them. If I saw them, and all the ones on our property had names, so all my friends who had big properties, I would go and put my goat. I mean, sorry, my ducks, Muscovy ducks, were the kind in the nice, the French restaurants in Raleigh or Charlotte, the big restaurants. My ducks were so fat they couldn't even fly. Sometimes my friends would come over and the ducks would get out of their area, and there would be like two or three of my old lady quilting friends running around trying to get these ducks and put them back over the fence in their area. And my mother would say, "You know how? Hey, Butter Roll, thanks for coming and welcome." Oh, Auntie Joanne, I don't know if you want to come up live. Auntie Joanne was making paper elephants. Was it yesterday, Sissy? You can only drink goat milk as a baby. Wow. Do you drink soy milk? When my grandson was a baby, he couldn't tolerate any type of milk. His formula had to be a a soy formula. Happy Mask. Oh, Happy Mac. I, I can read. I could read between the lines. So yeah, and then the duck meat. Oh my goodness, the duck breast would be so tender. The the hogs, they would go. Oh, let me see. Are any of you working on anything that you want to share? Hold on a minute. Let me see. Invite up to six guests. Okay. So, Command C and Command V. It says you can't post messages to some channels. Okay, fine. That's some channels. We'll post to the ones that we can. So there's the link in case somebody wants to come up. Don't forget to turn your notifications off and to turn it down and put your dog away. Mr. Hershey's not out here barking today and being bad because I already have a sign on my door. There's a meeting downstairs. I didn't go there, but sometimes people knock on my door to bring me things like fresh fish. Fresh fish, mother. I will be bringing you some porgies. Porgies. There's a nice seafood restaurant up the street from me here. I'm going back and forth different subjects, and many of my family members like to get fresh seafood from there. So if somebody wants to come up and show what you're doing, Coronado goat caramel sauce is your fave, Happy Mac? Well, I will pay the postage if you help me find some. You're close to me. That's not so far. I can play the postage to upstate New York. I was actually there yesterday. Happy Mac. I was halfway to your place. I was up in nine New York, and on And what part of New Jersey over there? Montvale, New Jersey, where I used to facilitate and work. Over there by Bear Mountain, I was halfway up the mountain over there yesterday. So we got back late. That's why I'm being lazy today. I'm not sewing. And I took my walker, but we did a lot of going around. Going around. So if anybody would like to come up, Kelly and I connected on Pinterest, and I'm going to make a couple of crochet beanies. I crochet faster than I knit. I don't I don't knit the European way like my mom does. Click 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 click, like Madame Defarge in A Tale of Two Cities when she was clicking the code of how to escape or something. She was imprisoned for stealing a loaf of bread. I think that's the story. Can't remember all the stuff. You borrowed your uncle's tractor. You're going to till some new garden spaces and cut up some tree that fell down. Happy Mac, I had to cut down a lot of. I felt bad. 100-year-old oak trees on the property. One one walnut tree, a couple hickory trees to build a house. So we built a house from the ground up in 2009. That's gone. That's gone now. Oh, I was telling you about mommy when she used to visit the farm. Well, my mini farm, my homestead. I can't even call it a mini farm. And she would say, "You know how I know where you are? Because the goats are following you all around. You could hear the little bell. The dogs are following the goats. The chickens and some of the ducks would fly and get on the goat's back to to ride down the other side of the yard. It would be hilarious. And then the little children's play areas, like the little houses. Do you guys know that goats have to have their own little beds, houses at night? You can't leave them out in the rain; they'll get sick. They'll get sick. So if you had three little goats, you had to have, when I say three miniature goats, they had to have their own little house. Sometimes they would share. Sometimes they would share, or they would jump up and down, or they were really some toys for the kids, little sliding boards, stuff like that. But the goats would jump up and down, go in it. It was kind of fun. I want to say I miss that, but I can't take care of that. I can't even take care of this apartment. You guys hear me say I have a helper a couple days a week, to do the dusting on top of all these things up there. This is what, a 10-foot ceiling? Yeah, 10-foot ceiling. And everything is piled up from the ceiling to the floor with books. On top of the bookcases are bins with quilts. Those black things up there. Maybe you can see if I do this. Oh no. Those things up there are shoe boxes with small bits of fabric from fabulous places that I didn't want to mix up. I don't know if you can see. Hey, Miss Shirley OG Gardner. Don't forget. Oh, you see that little sign up there that says, oh, it says seeds. That's a big thing of seeds. On the other side of that is a little red bag that is sewn. Sissy, those are the fabrics that Deaconess Edwards brought back from Senegal and Gambia. What was it, like 20 years ago? And I keep those separate because I never did make my special project with that. So don't forget to put. Oh, Donzel Cooper saying, "Hi, Mr. Hershey." As soon as he hears Auntie Joanne. Auntie Joanne. I could have been talking and crocheting at the same time, but I'm too busy over here talking with my hands to you guys. So tonight I'm going to cook some fish. It was frozen fish from some fishery or something. And they're squares like fillet because I didn't feel like even looking to see if the other fish is cleaned and scale. My dad used to clean all the fish, him and my mom, when we used to go boating. The herring that we used to go to where they swim upstream like salmon, and in the spring daddy would go over there and pay the guys with the hip boots on, and they would just scoop them up, have a little net and baskets, and you just get the whole thing of them. Oh, mother, Miss Shirley saying hello, mother Pankey. Kisses, kisses, kisses. So you guys, the other day, my great granddaughter, who was in the very bad car accident, was able to go see my mom. They were both so happy. They were so happy. So, what I'm doing here is tough times don't laugh, tough people do. I'm making a crochet dishcloth, and it's kind of a filled in granny square. It's a pattern I learned a long, long time ago. It goes fast. So I'm going to use this, and then, and it's cotton, but I like using these in the kitchen. I love this old fashioned stuff, you guys. My grandmother, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother would take feed sacks. Feed sacks are, for those of you who never had animules, feed sacks used to, back in the old day, be like cotton, 100% cotton, and she would bleach them, and then she would embroider them, and those were the pillowcases. They used to make, like Francesca says, they used to make almost everything they use. And if they, whatever they bought, that's my grandparents, not me. I grew up in the city spoiled. Everything Auntie Joanne and I wanted, we came home from school, and some people whined about it. And like if I took up typing in high school, as soon as I took up typing, hey, Bayou, sugar, sugar. I'm gonna make some gumbo next week. Some seafood gumbo. I've got all the stuff in the freezer. And as soon as I came home from school, Daddy would have a typewriter for me by the weekend. But but now I did I did type all of his contracts until I went to college. He had a painting and trucking business for one of his occupations. And I when I went to college, Joanne typed his contracts. All of us. And then you know what? We were taught, my dad sent all six of us to college, but guess what? We all had to learn a trade. We all had to learn something else to do. My mother had a catering business part time when we were little, and she would serve like the very wealthy people's parties and cook food and whatnot. But the good china, the bone china, the china with the numbers on the bottom that you see in the secondhand store, you don't put those in dishwashers. Some of the people had two dishwashers, two refrigerators. Joanne will tell you, and whoever we hand washed the china and the crystal glasses. And every course there was a different glass. The different plates. We set the table. Well, we set the table at home too. Francesca says she grew up as a pastor's kid. Wasn't until within the last 10 years she developed a love for the garden and farm life. I did that in my retirement. Actually, my second husband and I bought that land, but we also owned a small store, a country store and gas station and arcade. It was back in the day when we had our own Miss Pac-Man. We had our own whatever the machines were. And we had a pool table there. And I had a beer and wine license. So we did that for income, and we had gas, we had diesel fuel, And sometimes when the one gas station in town would be closed, you could hear a tractor trailer moving slow on the state road, like, and then sometimes they would pull up on the side of the state road and come to the property line and ask if we could open because they were low on fuel and they couldn't make it back to the Interstate 85 that went to Atlanta and Durham. So if you're driving coming from New York City going south, you take Interstate 95 just straight south through New Jersey, then Delaware, then you go over the Delaware Memorial Bridge into Maryland, then Virginia, mind you, Interstate 95, but you get to St. Petersburg, Virginia, and the road forks. If you stay on 95, you end up going to like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, those places. If you stayed on 85, I'm just talking about the big roads. 85, you go through Durham and Atlanta and down that area of the country. So, and talking about Auntie Joanne and I, sewing machines. I still have the sewing machines that we got for graduation presents in high school. Mine is over there. I plan to put it on my frame. I got this tangled up. I'm trying to, no, it's not. Trying to separate it because Francesca said her husband grew up on a dairy farm. Let me see if I can highlight this. And knew the meaning of hard labor. He's trained you well. Yeah, everybody works, even the little kids. Like, we didn't have breakfast for breakfast. They were out in the fields before the sun came up. Why? Because it's hot in the Carolinas, you guys. It was hot down there when we used to go visit my grandparents. And in Pennsylvania, my grandparents were coal miners. Actually, Aunt Joanne Stevens and myself, we're sisters. For those of you who don't know, our great grandfather, our great great grandfather, owned a walk-in coal mine, and it was on like 450 acres. Then they sold maybe 400 acres to the Jewish cemetery, and they kept maybe 50 acres for our family cemetery, which is a registered historic landmark in Pennsylvania. If you Google Thomas Family Cemetery, Hopwood, Pennsylvania, that's our family cemetery. I have to send some money this year because there's nobody cuts the grass. Nobody clears the graves. The family goes out there like in the summertime and maintains it. I can look at Auntie Joanne and I can look at our grandfather's grave, and guess what? He had the strangest name. It was a Dutch name, sort of. His name was Whenerd, Whenerd, and his twin brother's name was Winfield. His twin brother was like 2 minutes older than him. So the way the family inheritance goes, the oldest son, like Prince Charles, will inherit the throne of England because that's just how it was. That's just how it was. And everybody worked. Everybody worked on the North Carolina farm. In Pennsylvania, a funny story was that women were not allowed in the mines years ago. When there would be like a disaster in the mine, a cave in or something, everybody would go. Everybody would go, and you'd see these miners coming up. I have goosebumps talking about it. And you came up, and I don't know of course, this was after the Civil War, but everybody was black. Everybody was literally pitch black. And because the coal was black. And my grandfather ran the elevators to the mine. I found out Mike had a salesman at the door, and but the elevator wasn't like the elevator you push the button and go down like in the buildings. They were a bunch of mules, and there were these, I don't know, big things on tracks, and they pulled them up. You got a no solicitation sign. Those of us who were trying to organize a union, we were told by the management not to put not to put notices on the door inviting people to join because that was soliciting. I'm like, what? Nobody's selling anything. They were trying to do some union busting, but we have an attorney. We have an attorney, and there will be no harassment, and letters will be sent out. So I'm going around this, but I'll probably forget to tell you a funny story. So even on my small farm, when we did have the hogs, we had to keep them on other people's property. And my brother Joe reminded me, I'm looking for my tissue, of something funny because my brother Joe moved down there. He's an ex Marine, Semper Fi, and he had a double wide house trailer on one side of the 4 acres that we lived on. And one of the pigs got out, Brownie. So what I didn't know that pigs are cannibalistic. I knew the chickens were. They'll peck each other to death. To death if you put a new one in. So we, out of this litter of pigs, like Led has all these little pigs. Led Farmer, the last one he had a litter. There was one jet black pig, a bunch of spotted pigs, and I don't know about if they had white ones. So the litter of pigs that I bought, I think they were called shoats. Shoats. The boys had been banded, meaning that they put this something like these little rubber band across their boy parts so that part of them fall off and doesn't taint the meat and give it this stanky smell. You're actually surprised you haven't had a salesperson in a long time. You live on a main highway 30 minutes to the interstate. That's how my place was, Francesca. And it was 12 miles to the nearest town. And the nearest town only had 2 stoplights in Warrenton, North Carolina. They had a Hardee's in town. There was one grocery store. They finally put a quilt shop there. And there was not a silo. Yeah, the big round thing that somebody turned into an apartment. And so, yeah, I think I finished telling you about the tractor trailers coming to get gas because there wasn't any. It was country. It was country, you guys. And Francesca, the herbs that I grow here are because my whole garden is shade. It's just horrible, horrible shade. And groundhogs and chipmunks and squirrels and two-legged squirrels that go out there and get stuff. But it's fun, and I get to make videos and show you guys what I'm doing out there. So it's not a live stream unless I drop something. And I used to love. It was like camping. We were Girl Scouts, Auntie Joanne and I. First brownies, and then Girl Scouts. And in the summer, we'd get to go to camp like a week or two, and camp out. Sometimes it would be day camp. Hey, Bayou. Some people are saying, hey, to Bayou Sugar. And we, when we went to see our family in Pennsylvania, now they had inside bathrooms, a lot of them. Some of them had outside bathrooms. But guess what? You went through the house, and all the bathrooms and it was on a mountainside hill. All of the bathrooms were in a line. You could smell them, smell terrible. And but then when you went to North Carolina, the bathrooms were just out on the property. And my sister Joanne would cry, cry, cry. She wouldn't go in there. She would not go in there. She didn't want to sleep in the house. Houses down there in the country, there are flies, you guys. She would have a wet washcloth fanning all day and night. I think that's why she got tall and slim and nobody else was, because she just exercised her body. They say your body fat is determined in childhood. Like if you overfeed your children, it makes you obese. Well, I ate good. I ate very well. Not good, I know, mother. And so did my brother Bill. But Auntie Joanne, she's always been portion, portion controlled. And I just loved visiting my grandmother. And then, like Francesca says, like in the city, she was a pastor's daughter. No wonder you know the scripture so well. No wonder you read it so well, Francesca. No wonder you have patience. Oh, I did see the end of you. Was it today or yesterday? I replayed it. No, today was today Yankee sister. I get the days mixed up, but that's why, because I'm outside early, outside early. So I can grow herbs, but nothing else. And in the country though, we had areas where it was shaded. We could grow herbs, and we would feed them to the chickens and other animals. Some of them just walked around. Sometimes the chickens would lay eggs in the horse stables, because the horse stalls in the mornings we would let them out to go run in like a one of the pastures up the street. Absolutely right. Oh, Joanne says she can't stand flies. She still can't. Me, they might get pewed. No, of course not. I'm just being silly. But the one thing I did not have on the homestead in North Carolina, we never had problems. Every once in a while, an opossum, sissy. I did not eat it. I did not eat the one that daddy trapped that time. I did not eat them. I didn't eat wild meat or rabbits. One time, my husband, my second husband, liked rabbits, and I would cook them if somebody else unalived them. And my son would say, "Mom, what's that?" "Mom, I will be very upset if I said chicken. I will be very upset if I finish eating and then you tell me it's a rabbit." So I didn't tell him it was a rabbit, and I didn't give him any. But I cook it. I cook venison very well. You unalive it. I can cook it. I can cook anything, 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 anything. Because when we grew up, you ate what was on your plate. Like my great grandkids, this one doesn't like this one. I mean, I don't mean doesn't like this one. Doesn't like this plate. This one doesn't eat this one. This one likes this kind of cereal. Auntie Joanne didn't have that luxury. We did not have that luxury. You ate what was on your plate, or you didn't get to eat. Oh, you guys, I did it again. I'm not. I didn't go anywhere. Be right back. I was just touching things because my sister made me upset. She's trying to say I ate that opossum. I did not. I did. Dad, Dad, they're trying to make me cry, Daddy. I was a daddy's girl. All I had to do was tell him that somebody was doing something to me. Oh, I'm spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. So, how many of you, okay, no button pushing. I not only push people's buttons, I push buttons on the computer. Oh, but Joanne made me nervous. She kept talking about that silly opossum. My mother laughs about it when we go there. We go there. We make jelly in the city. We made mommy canned peaches, pears. Oh, my mother makes the best peach cobbler, and she makes hers with the kind you roll the dough out. I make mine the southern kind of way, where you put the flour and everything, and it's liquid. You put it on the bottom, and then it works its way to the top. I learned how to make those. But as I was telling you, we had these cane corsos. There were no wild animals on the property. Sometimes there would be snakes. We had copperheads and moccasins. And sometimes the gardener would say, Miss Penny, there's a dead rabbit over here. Well, get it up. I don't want the dogs to see it and eat it, or the chickens start pecking at it. And then the gardener say, well, it ain't like he's standing still. Oh, well, the dogs are hunters too. Cane Corsos hunted wild boar in Italy. And do you know what a wild pig is in Louisiana, or the feral pigs in Texas and now Florida, Alabama, Mississippi? We're talking about feral pigs, wild boars, the big boy ones in Italy. And that's what my dog, that breed, was trained to hunt in Italy. They were called the butcher's dogs because the butchers, in order to um, unalive a boar, a hog, the dog would hold on to their nose over there and hold them still, and then the butcher would do his work. Miss Shirley said no button pushing. Miss Shirley, you going live today at 7 o'clock? Says I'm getting what I call sis, because Miss Shirley, my Renaissance grandma, they're not older than me. I call them Miss Shirley, Miss So and So, just out of respect, because you guys do, and it's no skin off my back. It doesn't hurt me to give respect to another elder. And no, I did not eat that possum, sissy. So my dogs would not have anything running on their property except for our chickens, our ducks, and our goats. They protected them. They protected them. Sometimes the goats would get out, and like the neighbor across the street would say, Miss Penny, one of your goats got out and came over here. I can tell because I left some little raisins on my front porch. That's what goat poop looks like. Looks like little brown raisins. But when it was time to dress the meat, we would some of the neighbors who were farmers would unalive it, take all the hair off of it, put it in their pickup truck, and take it to town where they had a meat locker. And there we would age the meat, like you go to the nice restaurants and stuff in town, the steakhouses. The meat isn't like, okay, you unalive it, go put it on go cook it tonight, go have a steak. The good steaks and good meat was aged. My aunt Lemon used to make buttermilk when she got the churn with the electric motor. My baby brother stuck his finger in it and nipped a little end off. Oh, how Aunt Lemon cried. Grandma's churn was just the kind you go up and down. Oh, you guys, you want to see some some prepper tools? Okay. Glad I got on something loose. I will show you some stuff. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Everything everything has a special place. Excuse my boom boom, but I want to show you guys some old school stuff that you preppers might want to keep in case the grid goes down or something. Okay, stay there. I am right here. So I will show you some old school things Francesca may have seen, some of you. So how about this? Miss Shirley goes, yes. Thank you. She says, she respects me too. I know you do. It's just me. So this, you guys, this, Auntie Joanne bought it at an auction in Arizona. I really wanted it. I think the auction, the bid went up to $160. So this is oak. This is some type of that old school iron like the blacksmith used to use. This, look, is original. And what it is a a coffee grinder. So you here's the drawer that opens, right? You open it. All this, you see the dovetails. Look how well this was made. This is not like stuff you buy at the store. You know, this is like the real metal, real metal. And you open it up and you put the coffee beans inside. You see, you put the coffee beans inside and then you close it. I think Francesca told me one time she has one. And then you go around and around and around. So this is old school. My aunts were telling me how they used to. This is this. Uh-oh. This is not as old, but this is an original egg beater. But look, it has copper on it. I don't want to leave you guys, and I have to climb over some stuff. But I have a copper egg basket that my sister Joanne bought. It came from some castle in Europe, and one of our friends was an antique dealer, and Auntie Joanne bought that from her sister too. Seven. Okay, put your link in, sis, so that put your Miss Shirley OG Gardner goes live at 7, and she only goes live once a week, you guys. So go over there for a couple hours and support her. And she has some funny stories to tell. Arthur Bammett does. They go live on Sundays, but I'm off of YouTube on Sundays. I'm spending time with the family, either in person, family and friends, either in person or in family chats. Unfortunately, you don't. Oh, they don't. They at the thrift stores that they have these, Francesca. I promise you, it won't be thrift unless you might find it at a yard sale where somebody doesn't know what they have, like the little. I feel dust on those things I pull down up there. I feel like I want to sneeze. So, but look at this. This is so smooth. And then watch. It's like an engine. You haven't used this hand beater. This hand beater is so smooth, isn't it, Francesca? And this is like real copper on here, you guys. So, what else is around here? Old school. I Auntie Joanne's clothes look like the day she bought them. I don't care how old they are. Her jeans, she doesn't put them in the dryer. She hangs them up. She hangs them up to dry. We were taught how to do laundry by my mom. My mom was very specific about how you fold a towel, how you fold a washcloth, how you hung them on the clothesline, how you took them down. Hunty, we had rules. We have rules. This isn't old, but it's a miniature of a quilt rack. I had this made by a lady whose husband, A lady owned a quilt shop in North Carolina, and her husband made these. So these would be like full size and sit at the foot of your bed. When you took those big old heavy quilts, the quilts weren't light like they are now. They were heavy, heavy, heavy. Somebody said exactly what you thought it was, a coffee grinder. I don't even go. I go just for entertainment. I don't go to buy anything at secondhand stores because oh, and Goodwill, forget about it. Forget about it. Auntie Joanne and I went to one and I call her Auntie Joanne because the kids do. In all the family chats is Auntie Joanne, Uncle Roscoe. Is she my aunt? No, she's my sister. So you're pulling some awesome antiques that are super fun. I love it. I tell you, you come visit here, it's like going to the zoo. So now this is what they washed clothes on. And trying to see what it says. Ideal for silks, hosiery, and lingerie or handkerchiefs. Just the right size to fit a bucket or lavatory. Packs easy into suitcase. Okay. Then this one was made in Hasbro. I don't know. Maybe you guys can see it better than I could where it was made. And then this is the front. It's a little bit warped. It's a little bit warped. And Maria Graham said, your mother had one of these. You thought it was a pasta drying rack. Now that's an excellent idea, Francesca. I do make I do make pasta the old fashioned way by hand because we had a neighbor growing up that they were like brothers and sisters. The children grew up with my sister Joanne and my brother and I, and they made pasta by hand. They put the semolina flour in the middle, an egg or two, a little bit of oil, and they just mixed it around, rolled it out. And it was funny because mommy taught Miss Midge how to make sweet potato pies and cook collard greens. So we had our own intercultural thing. And so yesterday I took something out. Some people make quilts out of this. This is, and I gave some away. I had a whole bunch of maybe last year of embroidery and hand stuff. This is a handkerchief. Before tissues were invented, every gentleman had a handkerchief in their pocket, or if it was church, they had a fancy one in their suit pocket. I think this is the way my dad used to do his to fit it in his church suit pocket. So it would be something like this, and then sticking out all the gentlemen. You saw the washboard on TV, Donzel. I bought this one at some store just because when I show my quilts at quilt shows, some of the smaller quilt shows, like if it was a small quilt, and those of you who are quilters or thinking about quilting, the doll quilts sell for more money than more money than trying to figure out what to do. My battery is going low. I guess I should shush up. They sell for more money than the big quilts. Why? Because they're usually one of a kind. They're made for some special child, and they're just wonderful. Hudson, that's oh, that community garden of yours. Everything is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So these are some of the things that help you make it through hard times. Maria Graham has told me several times when her electricity went out, When I lived in North Carolina, a big ice storm, the electricity would be off for maybe a week or so. We'd have to go use our wood stove in one of the buildings. So, you guys, I guess I will shut it down. I hope you enjoyed today. It was something different. You had a wringer and an old school washing machine when you first got married. Oh, I remember those out in the yard. A lot of women's breastises got caught in those wringers too, sitting out there with no bras on doing laundry out in the country. So, you guys, Mother Agawamote, I love each and every one of you. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. Miss Shirley wants a scrub board because of hand doing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This one is a little bit warped. I should try to fix it, and because again you see the dovetails where and the rivets, the wooden rivets in this whole thing. Sometimes you guys see me when I'm in my kitchen. I have a couple 100-year-old butcher block in there that I use. I just love this old stuff because it reminds me of the olden days. So now it's time to say goodbye to all our lovely friends. Don't forget, hold on for the outro, you guys. This is an I, this is an L, this is how to say I love you in American Sign Language. And hold on for the outro.